What's up everyone, Tom from the Airsoft headquarters here, and welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about what is currently the smallest tracer unit available on the market, and that is the G&G UVT-106 2.0, this little guy right here. Now I'm sure that some of you are aware as far as the progression of tracer units over the last several years. So currently, or not currently, previously, tracer units used to be fairly large in order to hold multiple LED or ultraviolet light LEDs, as well as having large rechargeable batteries or holding AA's or AAA's. Now, over the last several years of innovation as well as general creativity, we now have something that is significantly smaller as far as overall length and diameter between the two. So it's really amazing to look at overall the progression of tracer units themselves, as well as looking at the potency of tracer BBs themselves. You know, back several years ago, even some of the not so great brands of tracer BBs, they don't really have the nicest of chemical consistency or chemical brightness when it comes to individual BBs, and thus don't give really great performance compared to some of the other nicer brand of BBs tend to be significantly brighter and much more consistent in overall performance. So it's really great to see the progression of something that a lot of people end up getting into very early on. You know, these used to be very, very expensive and very cumbersome and have to be, you know, fairly unique to a loadout. Versus these, you can just slap onto anything. They don't add a whole lot of overall length to a system, and thus can be added to any type of rifle or even pistol. And you can get, even most times, better performance than these. So really great that we get to see some nicer performing units currently on the market, especially at such a low price. Just to spoil it right away, this guy, the UVT-106 2.0 here at the Airsoft headquarters, is $75 and comes in just this little box. The UVT-106 1.0 or Gen 1 is going to be $70, same as the Ace Tech Lighter S, $70 for the most inexpensive of tracer units as of right now, and can get up to the Lighter R, which is one of the other ones that we consistently bring in at $80. These are very, very, very inexpensive compared to some of the older ones that were $100, $150, $180. You know, you had to drop a couple bucks in order to get some type of tracer unit system, versus these really inexpensive and readily available. So that's really great to see, and it's changing the overall type of gameplay for outdoor low light environments as well as indoors. So great to see these systems just changing the Airsoft gameplay overall. But we're not here to talk about what tracer units do. We're here to talk about the UVT-106 2.0 specifically. So we're gonna get into the nitty gritty of it. So last year, G&G released the UVT-106 1.0, we're gonna call it, which was the smallest tracer unit that was on the market at that time, and I think still is. I know that there is an Ace Tech Brighter C coming out, but I know that's a little bit longer than this guy. So as of right now, well, the 106, currently the smallest. And then they brought out the UVC-106 2.0. And in overall, looking at descriptions from several different retailers, distributors, they had the same overall description despite having a $5 difference between the two. And I thought, what is the fuss between it? So that's what we're gonna do as of today. So looking at the UVT-106 2.0, some of the shared features is an overall length of 51.5 millimeters, which is very, very short compared to the Brighter C, which I currently have incoming. I'm gonna be doing a video on that, is 56 millimeters. Yes, 56 millimeters. So still one of the shortest ones. Having a diameter of 27 millimeters, weighing 36 grams. I'll put a conversion into pounds here, but overall very, very light, very, very small. It has a twist on and off. It has a aluminum cylinder, and it has polymer end caps. Same overall construction between the two, same charging ports, same type of LEDs, which the LEDs in here are lined up on both sides of the tracer unit. Same with the Ace Tech Lighter S. The Ace Tech Lighter R only has LEDs on one side of the tube, but this is going to be a completely white interior, so it helps illuminate not completely around, but gets to both sides as much as possible. These are not going to be white cores, but they are going to have the LEDs on both sides of the inner tubing. So that's going to help with luminosity of the BBs themselves. Both are using micro USB as far as the charging port and are in the same exact position for charging. And both are going to be the standard 14mm counterclockwise system. So externally, as well as just looking through the tube, they're going to be near carbon copies of each other. What comes into the difference is with the 2.0, this is going to have 2 integrated rechargeable batteries versus the 106 1.0 only has 1, as far as I can tell. The 106 2.0 also has its LED ultraviolet lights with quartz lenses. Now that sounds super cool, and I'm sure it has a boost in performance. I just don't know what that is. I don't know what quartz lenses do.
All right, quick timeout. Talon here from the editing studio, which just happens to be my personal room. Quick doing a little bit deeper of a Google search compared to the other Talon, and it just so happens that the quartz LEDs, or the quartz lenses of the LEDs, tend to be a better manufactured of product and thus allow for a lower quality control issue rate. It also has to do with the quartz lenses specifically having a different type of dome for that light to reflect upwards and impact the BB. Overall, it seems that there is a 90, if I'm understanding the numbers correctly, 93% of the light from the quartz lenses is absorbed by material in the environment versus the previous lenses from the 1.0 only absorbs about 75-73% of overall light. So there's a 20% increase of light that BB could be absorbing. It also has to do with the manufacturing of the BB itself and the chemical compound that's inside of there. But that's just something that I've learned in a little bit deeper of a Google search.
And a feature that both share is that both are going to have a 1-minute power saving mode, which means after they're turned on, there is going to be 15 seconds of LED blinking, and this one's going to have 1 minute of LED blinking. After 15 seconds, the blinking stops, but it still takes 1 minute to go into that power save mode, while this one will blink the entire duration of the 60 seconds before it goes into power saving mode. In order to activate the tracer unit back to on, you either need to fire a BB through it or give them a good hard shake in order to activate the tracer unit internals, which is super, super cool. What is so unique about the UVT-106 2.0, I feel like, is first of all, that front on and off switch. Versus some of my other favorite brands, such as the Ace-Tex, the on and off switch is on the very back of the tracer unit, which can be an issue, especially when having any type of rifle systems that have that integrated suppressor look. And I'll show you what I mean by that. So here with the SIG MCX, with the longer rail system on there, that barrel does sit inside of there, which means having a longer tracer unit or mock suppressor will need to sit inside of there. Which I think overall is a very, very cool look. I like the look of anything that has an integrated suppressor. I think it's just really unique. The issue with the Ace-Tex is when I want to turn them on, I need to have a tool readily available, and I need to somehow sneak that tool in, turn the power switch on, and be able to turn it off again, or I need to completely unscrew it in order to turn it on and re-thread it back onto the barrel, which is a little time consuming. However, with the G&G UVT-106, that is not a huge issue, having to get the power switch in the correct position or take it all the way off, because the power switch is right up front, which means if I can get this threaded on there, when it's threaded on there and it's seated in place, it doesn't have that same overall integrated suppressor look, which is fine. It will still work for what I need it to, which is just illuminate BBs. So if I need to go to any type of just casual pickup game, or just this is my spare in my gun bag, then I can be on the field and I can just flip it on and off. Or in my case, with the power save mode, I'll forget to turn the tracer unit off, and then when I take a long break or I'm done for the day entirely, I'm not constantly draining battery with the LED sensors still on, waiting for a BB to go through. So overall, this is a great system for people like myself that forget to turn the tracer unit off or like the look of the integrated suppressor. No, it's a little harder with this guy, but you still get the idea for something super small and minimalist. One of the things that I have noticed with the UVT-106 as well as with the Airsoft is that while the housings are aluminum, the very end caps are going to be a polymer or a plastic design, which means these can get struck by BBs and they could potentially break. I have seen them break on customers' Airsoft while they're using them at outdoor games. Getting a BB strike directly on the front of the face will crack that and will break that, which can be an issue, but not too bad of an issue on these guys because the Airsoft have just the charging port on the very front face inside of there. Looks like I left this on by mistake. So turn that off. Okay. See, still forgetting to turn them off. Which has been an issue, but it's a very uncommon issue. You do need very, very high velocity in order to crack or break these, which generally is something you would only see at outdoor fields with the higher FPS limitations. Same with these guys. These are going to be a polymer, but this is going to be significantly worse of a instance because the on and off switch that sits right here is the most critical part of the entire system. And the way that this is disassembled is there are electrical components that are tied with the on and off switch that if this cracks and if this breaks, I don't think that there's replacement parts out there as of right now, but if this breaks, it's a fatal, it's just going to stop. Like, there's no fixes. You're done using the tracer unit because it's broken. Unless it's conveniently broken while it's on, in which case it could still be usable. However, still not something that I would want to happen. Another thing with this as far as a flaw is that the rechargeable port is exposed. So someone like myself that goes to mil sims and I'm okay with taking some of my airsoft guns to the extreme environments such as rain, you know, I'm okay with getting my guns wet to a point. I have one specifically built for that. With this, because of the exposed charging port, that's not something that I particularly want to see and probably not something that I'm willing to take out into the rain if that is something that you guys are looking for. So that is an issue right there. One other thing that I have noticed being an issue is that the UVT-106s, the 1.0 and 2.0, while coming in a super cool and convenient minimal packaging, does not come with any type of recharging cable. For players that want to get the UVT-106 and take it immediately to a field and use it right away, they're not able to use it in their car as far as recharging it because it doesn't come with any type of cable. And if they don't have any spare cables, then they need to stop somewhere, pick up some cables, and then take it to the field. With the Airsoft, cables are included. So if you wanted to go directly to the field, you know, while you drive, charge this in your car, that is something that can be done. But more customers seem to like the UVT-106 design and thus want to be able to use those. So something I would like to see is having those cables readily available for customers. However, not something that necessarily needs to happen, since I think G&G overall just wanted to keep the cost down and not include cables that a majority of people already have. So overall, my final thoughts of the UVT-106 and 106 2.0 is that they're a great tracer unit. Compared to the lighter S, I would personally take the UVT-106 2.0 over the lighter S. However, when it comes to the lighter R or 106 2.0, that's where it gets into kind of a dicey discussion with me personally. I like the fact that the lighter R can do greens and reds and can illuminate greens and reds very, very brightly. This, however, just is more convenient but will only work with greens. So between these two, it's a little bit harder of an argument. However, if it's a lighter S versus a 106 2.0, I'm gonna take the 2.0. Easy peasy. Overall, I think this was really, really great. When I played with it down at the Airsoft Arena in Milwaukee, had a great experience. In fact, the first couple of shots, I was really shocked at how bright it illuminated the green BBs, noticeably brighter than the 106 1.0, as well as noticeably brighter than the lighter S. I would like to see how this stacks up against the brighter C or even some of the Ace Tech BTs, which we are going to get some of those in. We are going to do another test video. If you have not seen our previous test video, I'll link it right here on this side of the screen if you want to go and check it out. But final thoughts are, this is amazing, this is great, and everyone should pick one up if you're looking to get into tracer units. Overall, great system. In some of the test videos, or at least some of the gameplay that I'm going to overlay here, I was using the BLS .25s, and I was doing it at the Airsoft Arena, which is a little bit darker in some spots, but overall, I think you get a good idea. And that's currently what I have as far as information about the UVT-106 2.0. If you have any further questions, put them down in the comment section below. If there's anything else as far as any ideas that you have for future videos, other types of products that you want to see, put them down there as well. I'll be able to look at all of those. But that's it for today. So you guys take care, stay safe, stay positive, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.